Good morning. Let's try this again. This is take two. Let's see if this works now. I think it's working. I think it's working. Let's see. All right. I think I got it figured out now. Let me just make sure. Yep, we're good to go. We're good to rock and roll. How is everyone doing today? I want to see if anybody's watching. Bronte, Jeff. Ooh, those might be men. This might not be the right episode for you guys, but if you have females in the house, maybe it'll help you. Today, guys, I got an important topic I'm going to do for my ladies because if there's one thing that I have experienced over the last couple of weeks, if you have been following me, it is how unbelievably misunderstood females are and how we just get like our symptoms just get pushed aside like it's just deal with it, just no big deal. And I'm going to start with talking about how unbelievably dismissed I felt spending 6 days in the hospital with an abdominal distension that was not explainable, being in excruciating pain for multiple days, to leave with absolutely no answers, and being told to follow up with a general surgeon. It was just such a wake-up call to me to know this is what my clients deal with on a regular basis. And it really sparked me to want to talk a little bit about, honestly, a lot of the things that you might be experiencing that are warning signs that you need to take seriously. And I think that this was the wake-up call for me that I can't leave it to doctors and labs to diagnose when something is wrong. I have to look at my own life and the symptoms and not think that things are okay. And I mean, this is full transparency with me is I went into the hospital on a Sunday because I knew something was not right. And I'm like, I remember talking to my friend and like, I'm just going to go to the hospital. Like, I don't want to wait until Monday. I don't think urgent care. I want them to run labs. I want them to do testing. Something is not right. The weird distension, and it was more like pressure in my stomach. They sent me home telling me I was constipated. And all week I'm in my head, like, you're just being ridiculous. You're just being crazy. Like by Thursday, I was in so much pain that I could not stand. And I still felt like I was taking up space going back to the hospital. But I'm so glad that I did. Am I glad that I stayed there for 6 days? No, because I left with no answers. But today, I want to give you guys some things that you guys should be considering. These are essentially red flags that I think a lot of women are experiencing on a regular basis, and they're not paying attention to them. And it's usually your body's telling you something is not right. I think so many women in my situation on Sunday would have just been like, I'm bloated. It's okay. And probably would have never actually, and even now, knowing that I'm feeling a little bit better, probably wouldn't still be trying to figure things out. I'm the opposite. I am obsessed with figuring this out because my doctors aren't figuring it out for me. So let's get into today's topic. Let me just get up to my notes here. And if anything here hits home for you guys, please shoot me a DM, shoot me a message. If there's something in particular that you're like, this is me, like, what would you do? I would love to be able to offer you some advice, education, or point you in the right direction if I can, because that's what has been so helpful for me. Honestly, it wasn't the medical field that's helped me. It was a chiropractor for, being full transparency. That's who really helped me start to get underneath what was going on. So if you are somebody who ever felt like suddenly your body just changed, all of a sudden things are different. And in fact, for a lot of you guys, it's why did I all of a sudden start gaining weight? Or why did what I worked then no longer work now? Maybe even in the gym, you're just not feeling as excited for it. Maybe your recovery feels off. Maybe you're feeling puffy, exhausted, moody, stuck, and all of these things that just become like your new norm. And you're just not really sure what's wrong, but you're just kind of getting by, right? You're just kind of like checking the boxes and it's like, okay. And maybe you're even like me, kind of down regulating a little bit. I'm like, okay, like just be kind. Like this is baseline. But now you're realizing that every single week, it's like baseline gets lower, lower to where at some point you're like, all right, whoa, how did I get here? I want to talk to you guys about this because it's not something being wrong with your body. And I think that that is what you're being told. Oh, it's just menopause. Oh, it's just your hormones. Oh, it's just your insulin. Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that. No, your body is communicating something with you. And it's important for you to understand that when your body is communicating, the goal is to listen and learn and adapt. Like that's truly what we're doing. But most of us, myself included, sometimes when the body's communicating, you kind of fight it. You're kind of like, stop. Like, why are you doing this? Stick to the plan. Like, or it's, this is just is what it is. And you don't even know what you could be doing to improve things, you know, and I want you guys to feel like you are taking control. Like right now, as out of control as I feel about what is going on in my body, because I can't control what is going on, I am, like I said, becoming very obsessed with learning about what might be going on. And also learning that, just like you, there's a lot of common factors, even if there are multiple things, they all that it could be, there's a lot of common factors that overlapped in making those things better. So for instance, if it's reproductive or if it's gynecological versus if it's like a GI stress related or a GI related thing or a stress related thing, it all circles back to likely a couple of things I need to make changes to. Likely my training volume. So even though I haven't changed much of my training volume, maybe my body is just not handling the training volume like it used to. Maybe I need to make some changes in the type of training that I'm doing. Maybe it's stress outside of training. Maybe there's other things going on. Maybe it's a nutrition related change that I need to make. So there are things that I am doing and experimenting with to see what is going to work. I'm not changing everything at once, but it's like, it's understanding that you need to learn how to get to a place where you're listening to your body and you're not judging it. You're just trying to figure out what it's telling you. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do right now. So these are some symptoms that I want to kind of talk about because I think a lot of you deal with this stuff on a regular basis and you know it's not normal, but you just kind of like deal with it. And it's not okay. It is not okay to be showing up at 50% every day of your life. Do I also think that it's not realistic to show up at 100% every day for every month, every season of your life? No, but for the most of you guys, your good days should outweigh your bad days. And I think for a lot of you, you might find that your bad days are so consistent, you don't even know what it feels like to feel good anymore. I've been there. I have been there, and I don't want to get back there ever again. And that's why I am taking this very seriously. So here are some things that I think that get kind of brushed aside, especially when you go to your doctor, that it's just hormones. It's just this. Like, again, hormones are communicating something to you. They're not telling you what you should be addressing. And that's what I want to do today. All right. So here are some common things that you are probably ignoring. Fatigue. You are so tired that you don't even realize you're operating at 50 to 60%. You don't even know what 100% feels like anymore because you've been walking around in a state of 50% effort for as long as you can remember. It happens so slowly. Coupled with fatigue is brain fog. Like you just don't know why you kind of feel like your head's a little heavy, your eyes are a little heavy. It just feels like maybe your thoughts are coming through really fast and your words can't come out fast enough. Maybe the opposite, your thoughts are so slow, you can't process things. Little things feel hard, overwhelming. A big one for women is missed cycles, irregular cycles, heavy periods, light periods, spotting. All of this stuff is just, oh, it's just my hormones. Oh, it's just my hormones. No, why don't you have a normal menstrual cycle? Like we need to identify what's causing that to happen because that's not just a hormone problem. Your hormones are communicating something to you, right? Like if all of a sudden your car starts sputting, like there's like black powder coming out of the exhaust, like something ain't right, right? You're not just going to keep driving on it. You're going to go figure out what's wrong with the car. Check engine light comes on. You're not going to just keep driving on it. You're going to figure out, well, maybe you are, but you're trying to figure out what's going on. Your reproductive system is the biggest indicator that something is not right in your body because it is the first thing to take a hit because it is the one thing that is technically accessory for your life. So when that's not right, that means that that's the first line of action. That's when the first line of action should be happening. Okay. But most of y'all don't act until shit gets bad. All right. And I'm going to admit, That's me. I've had an irregular menstrual cycle and I've been trying to figure it out. But if I'm being honest, haven't really put that much effort into it because it doesn't impact my day-to-day life that much until it did. Because I do truly think that I had a cyst that formed and ruptured. And now I'm dealing with the remains of that. Okay. Another one, hunger and craving shifts. Okay. You just judge yourself. Why am I all of a sudden starving all the time? What's wrong with me? Why am I all of a sudden never hungry? I feel bloated every time I eat breakfast. Like, these are all signs there's something not right with your body, but you keep just saying you got to diet harder, or you got to figure it out with more restriction, or maybe it's you are looking for the solution without asking what's causing all of that. Okay. Sleep disruptions. Oh my gosh. Women come to me, they're like sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night, but I never stay asleep the whole night. That's a sign something is not right. These are things that you are likely ignoring. And one little thing trickles into other little things. Sleep disruption, long-term, causes other issues. Stubborn body composition changes. This one gets dismissed all of the time because people think it's just vanity. Why do you care so much about your body composition? Why should the scale matter? Whether you have 50 pounds to lose or 5 pounds to lose, if you're seeing shifts in your body composition, there is something going on under the hood. And that is not all of a sudden you just need to accept your body. It's asking what's going on with your body and understanding what might be causing those shifts. It's usually if it's like, yeah, well, I haven't been working out as often. Well, why haven't you been working out as often? Were you working out too much? Were you putting too much stress on your body and now your body's burned out? Like there's other things that could be factoring in. Poor recovery. All of a sudden your workouts don't feel as good. You're not recovering as good. It's like, that's not normal. That's a sign something is off. And these are all things that you are just like dismissing. And this is a big one. And where I was struggling. Gut issues. So many women reach out to me for body composition changes. They want to lose 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds, whatever it is. They want to feel good in their body. And 9 times out of 10, on my assessment, they are checking all of the boxes on everything that could be wrong with their gut. Gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, all of the things, food intolerances, food sensitivity testing up the wazoo. Okay. Your gut, just like your reproductive system. In fact, that's where I'm struggling right now with my own journey is they are so tightly enmeshed, and like one can have a serious impact on the other. It's a chicken or the egg situation. But your gut issues are a huge red flag. A lot of times women with gut issues, they are dealing with stubborn weight gain or having a hard time losing weight. There's things that impact that we can talk about addressing. Okay. Another common symptom that you're ignoring, tired in the morning, but wired at night. You just think that you're a night owl. No, that is a sign that your circadian rhythm is off. Your cortisol levels might be off. Okay. Low libido. You just assume maybe you're getting older. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. No, that is a sign that something is off. Okay. Sudden onset of depression or anxiety. And I say this because you might have dealt with that for a long period of your time. Like I'm somebody who has dealt with depression and anxiety since I was a kid. But when you notice it's all of a sudden getting amplified by things, or you're noticing it showing up more often, that's a sign something is not right. Okay. Another one, changes in your hair loss on the head, hair growth, other areas, one or the other, or both of them. These are signs something is not right in your body. Okay. Here's one that you probably would never even consider: cold intolerances or heat intolerances. I think a lot of women focus on heat intolerances through perimenopause. They wake up with hot flashes or they're getting hot flashes. Cold intolerances are also a sign that something is not right. Your body is not regulating your temperature the way that it should be. So if you're finding that you're getting cold very easily, so this is something that I was struggling with, right? So I'm always wearing a sweatshirt, right? It could be the middle of summer and I'm in my house in a sweatshirt, but I do keep my house so fully. I keep my house pretty freaking cold at night. And so it takes about usually mid-morning before it's warm again. Okay. Here's a big red flag, and one that I have also ignored and blamed myself for, is all of a sudden getting more injuries. I think that the first thing that people say, especially with CrossFit women, is it's the high intensity training. It's the kipping pull-ups. It's the dynamic movements. No, it's why are those things all of a sudden not tolerated by my body? There's things going on, hormonal shifts that might be causing some changes in the integrity of your tendons, your ligaments, your muscles. Okay, these are all signs that you need to not ignore. All right. All of these things that you might be experiencing on a daily basis, you might have checked all of them off the box. You might have checked one or two off the box. You keep ignoring them, eventually they are going to catch up with you. They will. And so I'm telling you this because I want you to stop ignoring them and start paying attention. These are not, so I want to go into part 2 of this. And that's why I titled this, we don't need to be victimized, we need to be validated. Because me telling you all this isn't for you to say, oh my gosh, I am just a hot mess express. Like, I just have all of these issues and I don't even know where to start. And now you start pathologizing every single symptom. That is where I was when I was in the hospital. I had to, and it was partly, I blame the doctors because they were literally throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. So it was making me go down 5 or 6 different rabbit holes. But there's a process of elimination that has to happen. I don't want you pathologizing every single symptom because, like I said, a lot of these overlap with a common issue. And I think that a lot of women go to like 3 main things. It's metabolism issues. I don't know why, but I think I must have fucked up my metabolism by undereating. My hormones are just all over the place, or somehow I ruined my body. And I'm going to be honest, I fall into the 3rd category here. I blame myself and can't blame myself. It's like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do to my body? In fact, I remember like the confessions in the hospital. I'm like, listen, I train hard. I mean, I work out. I did some GHG sit-ups. I don't know. Like, did I do? I was blaming myself. I'm like, I did this to me. And I think that it's so easy to do that when it's good to take ownership. And I am taking ownership. I'm taking ownership on how I'm going to overcome this. But I want you to take ownership, not in a way of pathologizing and getting stuck in these situations is what it is. And learning that it's not dysfunction. Sometimes there's things that are happening that you're not even realizing. Okay. So here are the common causes of all of these things to help you understand how to take control of these symptoms. And it's why, in fact, I already recorded, but I haven't posted it yet. Women need to be more obsessed with tracking their data and less obsessed with tracking macros. You focus so much on the numbers, but don't understand where those numbers play a factor in everything else in your life. It's why I coach women, not macros. There are so many factors in your nutrition and your life and your training that are going to impact your body. And you have to understand what your body is responding to acutely and also over time. Okay. Because your body evolves, right? Like, at 40 years old, your body is not the same as it was at 30 and not the same as it was at 20. There's a lot of changes that you've made to your lifestyle, but also that are going on physiologically. So there are things that also have to be able to evolve with that in your lifestyle, in your training, and your nutrition. And here are some of the common things that I find women getting stuck with. Number 1 is underfueling, hands down. I don't care if you're training for 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week, or 90 minutes a day, 6 times a week, or 4 hours a day. Okay. Most women are not eating enough, and eating enough is not just calories. Okay. It's not just, but I hit my calories today, but did you skip breakfast and lunch? Did you train fasted? Because those are both underfueling. And when we're talking about hormone dysfunction, those things will lead to a stress response in your body. Your nutrition is not just calories and macros. It's not just hitting those numbers. It's looking at things like that. Are you somebody who tightens up your diet Monday through Friday because you like to be more flexible on Saturday and Sunday? That is chronically underfueling your body. These are things that you have to realize are negatively impacting you. Is the only time you are caring about your nutrition when you are in a cutting phase. That is underfueling your body. Okay. And it leads you likely to overfuel in the wrong categories. Chronic dieting is the number 2 that I wrote down. Most women are so afraid of eating too much that they don't even realize what they are doing metabolically to their bodies. And it's why they wonder why other women seem to be able to maintain and don't have to think about it. And you're stuck. You're stuck wondering why you can't change. Okay. Stress load. How much stress are you under? All right. Now, I get it. I'm a very busy individual. I'm a high achiever. I put a ton of stress on myself. I've also had to realize that there is a level of stress that my body can handle and a place where it gets to a tipping point that leads me to a point of no return. And I have to be willing to sacrifice somewhere. I have to be willing to sacrifice somewhere in my life to be able to handle stress. And that means lowering expectations in some areas. You have to get to that same place. Women carry the burden of so many things on their shoulders, and they always put themselves last. And then what that ends up happening is they don't even show up in their life the way that they should anymore. So if you don't take control of your body when you need to, your body will take control of it when it has to. And that's not normally what you want, because at that point, now you're having relationship issues. Now you're fighting with everybody. Now you can't handle the kids. Now you're dealing with XYZ appointments. Now what could have been preventative care is now costing you a fortune for hormone replacement therapy, for all of the other things. I promise you, it feels expensive to prioritize yourself, but it does not. It costs you more in the long run to neglect yourself than it does to take yourself seriously. Okay. Training volume mismatch. This is a big one. It's not just overtraining, it's undertraining as well. Some women are barely getting in 1 or 2 workouts a week. And they're like, I'm CrossFitting. CrossFit was prescribed to be 3 to 6 days a week, not for 90 minutes a day, for like way less than an hour. Like, it does not take that much. That's why I like CrossFit for a lot of women. You can get a really good workout in a short amount of time. Okay. So there's a training mismatch. Changing hormones in your 30s and 40s. This is a big one. I will be honest. This hit me very fucking hard. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. I remember feeling my body changing when I was like 35. And I kept blaming myself. I kept saying, like, Cheryl, like, you just got to freaking push harder. You're losing this because you're not pushing hard enough. Nobody explained to me what was going on in my body. And I'm sorry that I'm emotional, but the last couple of weeks have brought me like a lot of PTSD from what I experienced at that time in my life. And nobody explained to me what was going on. And I just getting pushed to doctor to doctor to doctor. And if I had realized what was going on, I probably would have changed things back then that could have stopped so many things from happening in my life. And it's why I am so fucking passionate when women come to me in their 30s and they have goals for themselves, whether it's body comp, whether it's athletic goals, and teaching them how to learn from my mistakes. And, it's because if I can save one woman from the chaos that I went through, that's what I'm going to do. And the same thing for my women that I work with that are older than me. And I empathize so much with you being thrown from doctor to fucking doctor and not knowing what is wrong with you, to be told it's just your hormones, and knowing how hard it is to keep showing up every day, not knowing what to expect from your body. Like, I get it. But the changing hormones needs to be addressed. not focusing on the hormones, focusing on how we can optimize our lifestyles, our training, our nutrition to support them. Sorry. It's just been an emotional couple of weeks for me. Last thing that I wrote here. Most women jump around from plan to plan. They're always trying to find the fix. Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is that? And that's not how it should be. There is a trial and error that needs to happen, but at every trial, there should be a learning curve. And it's always stacking bricks. It's dialing in one thing at a time. But most women are in such a place of fucking pain, and I get it. They would do anything to feel better today. And people sell you promises that if you do this, you're going to improve this, this, and this. Look at this transformation. No, I am fucking sorry. I am not going to be that coach that tells you it's going to be that easy. It's not. It's going to be a lot of work. It is. I am going through my own like transition in my diet and training, and it's not easy. Like, I love the way that I eat and the way that I train, and I don't feel bad about either of those things. But if my body is responding a certain way, I have to evolve if I want to stay in the lean, healthy body that I want to live in. So these new fixes, these XYZ protocols are not helpful. They're just distracting you. I had a woman talking to me yesterday. She's like, I know what it is. I'm gaining this belly fat because I'm spiking my cortisol in the morning by eating carbs in the morning and eating sugar. And that's why I'm gaining body fat. This woman can't stay consistent to track her food for more than 7 days in a row. Yet she's being told that it's the sugar and the carbs she's eating in the morning that's causing her to gain belly fat. Okay? This is what I mean by stacking bricks. That is the last thing she should be worried about. I'm not even going to go down a rabbit hole. Okay. So what I'm really getting at here is you need to learn how to support your body and adapt, not fight it. Okay. So let's learn what I teach, and I'm going to position what I do and invite you guys towards the end of this into a workshop that I'm hosting next week. And it is going to be probably going to go off tangents like this because this is what women struggle with and need to hear. But it is going to be mostly about helping you gain control over your body to lose 10 to 15 pounds. I'm going to be very transparent. Most women that come to me, they don't feel at home in their body because they don't like the way that they look or the way that they feel. And I want to give you both back. Okay. But let's learn a little bit about my philosophy on how we take control. All right. First and foremost, we are not guessing. Okay. I am not guessing on my body. You should not be guessing on your body. If you feel out of control of your body and you don't know these metrics, you need to gain control over your body. This is how you do it. You need to understand cycle data, all right? Whether you're in perimenopause or you're premenopausal or you are still getting a normal cycle, you need to understand what's going on with your cycle. You need to understand how your appetite changes, how your weight changes, how your digestion changes, how you feel, your mood. You need to understand all of that stuff, okay? You need to be tracking your cycle. You need to be tracking your nutrition. And I'm not talking about nickel and diming every single bite you eat, but you have to have a general idea of how much you're eating on a regular basis. When we're talking about fat loss, we can talk about how we need to dial it in more, but we need to have an actual nutrition audit. Like, you need to know what's going in, not just macros. We need to look at what types of food you're eating, how much fiber, micronutrients, iron, zinc, magnesium. Guys, ladies with these heavy periods and wonder why they're so freaking tired on their period, and they're not getting enough iron because they're constantly avoiding red meat. Like, there are so many things that women don't even realize they're doing. Okay. Hunger signals. Just mention this. What is your body telling you? You should be getting normal hunger signals. Recovery, changes in recovery. When do you feel your best? When do you feel your worst? Okay. Energy changes. When do you have most energy? When are you less energized? Body composition trends. All right. We're looking at photos over the course of months. Okay. I think a lot of people think that body composition is just about vanity. It is not. Your body composition is a marker of your health. We want to have an ideal body composition range. Training performance is a big one, and biofeedback, how you're feeling, like just general biofeedback. You need to start tracking the way your body is communicating with you off of the inputs that you're giving it. Okay. So let's go into taking back control. Okay. Control does not mean restriction. All right. I want to get that very clear. A lot of women confuse control and restriction. They are not the same thing. I can have a very controlled diet, but being intentional about eating enough. That's where I'm at right now. I think that I've been slightly underfueled. Not a lot, just a little bit. It's I'm not hungry. I'm busy. I go to bed. I feel fine. My weight's stable. I think I'm just a little bit underfueled. Okay. So it's not just about restriction. It's understanding what influences it. It's learning how to respond instead of reacting. It's the scale's up. Oh my God, I got to go on a diet. No, it's okay. Why is my scale up? Did I overtrain? Am I hydrated? Did I poop normally? Why am I not pooping normally? Okay. Are you fueling appropriately? How to adjust training? Okay. When you're feeling a little bit off, not just going away from the gym, but actually being in a place where like I can, commit to less. What is it you need to change? Supporting your hormones through nutrition. This is a big one. Okay. Macros are not the only thing that your hormones need, ladies. And calories, especially. I see women all the time. They're like really, really, really low fat, high carb, or vice versa. Really, really, really low carb, high fat. Like you need balance. Your body needs both. Right. Protein is not the only nutrient your body needs. And building confidence through the data you're tracking, not feeling stressed, out of control, and panicked, right? Even with myself, I'm getting back all of these lab markers and I'm not like panicking about them. I'm just looking at them, not stressing about it, and looking at things that I can do to maybe improve them. Okay, because my thyroid came back a little wonky and that's got me freaked out. My mom had thyroid issues. My autoimmune stuff came back a little bit wonky. That's got me freaked out, but I'm not reacting to it. I'm just looking at, okay, these are stress responses. I likely am under more stress than I realize. Because women, we can handle a shit ton of stress, right? I literally think I had an ovarian cyst rupture and I've been told it's like childbirth. So y'all women going through childbirth, you can handle a shit ton more stress than you realize. So your day-to-day stress that you think is not that much is a lot more than you realize. Okay. All right. Here we go. Wherever you're at in life, the majority of the women that come to me are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and even their 60s. That's kind of like mostly 30s and 40s. You are not the same as you were at 25, right? When you are in that 20 to 30 group, like it really truly is for most women that struggle with their weight, it's more of a social, free life, drinking, eating, just getting into your corporate job situation. And maybe you haven't even developed a fitness habit yet. For most women that I work with in their 30s and 40s, they are being proactive about their health. They are, whether they haven't been working out and they're starting to work out, whether they are overweight and they're trying to lose weight, whether you're in a different place. Okay. You need to evolve. You can't keep living in the past, wherever you're at. In fact, you can't even live in the 3 years ago. My body now is different than it was 3 years ago. Very different. So your approach needs to change. And that's why we have to get out of this. Nutrition isn't very different for anybody. It's the same basics, but it's where certain things matter more as you're aging than mattered when you were younger. Like, so at like 20 years old, I probably could have gotten away with just restricting my calories. But at 30 or 40, that just is not going to cut it anymore. There are other things that matter for hormones. So I'm going to just leave this here with a little bit of a plug for what I have going on next week. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I just made a post about it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it with you guys. I'm going to be hosting a workshop next Tuesday at 4 p.m. And if any of this resonated with you, or you are just listening, or you're just hopping on and you are a female that's like, I would really love to be able to lose 10 to 15 pounds. I've tried XYZ. I'm frustrated. I feel hopeless. I don't know what's going on with my body. Or maybe you're like, I'm listening to this. I'm like, yo, Cheryl, I would love to see what you got going on. Join me next Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'm going to be hosting a workshop. I'm calling it a masterclass. I'm going to be breaking down a lot of the things that matter. So even if you're listening to this and you want more information and education on how to track data, how to get more involved with your body, not just looking at macros, this is for you. Okay. It's next Tuesday, 4 p.m. If you want the link, just DM me. I guess just DM me masterclass. I'm trying to think what to say. Or just tell me, hey, Cheryl, can you send me? I honestly would rather you not DM me a word. I'd rather you have a conversation with me. Hey, Cheryl, interested in your workshop. Where can I get the link? Like, that's what I want. Shoot me a message. I'll give you the link for the workshop and get you in. And if any of this hits home for you and you're not really interested in the workshop and you just want to talk a little bit about it, also shoot me a DM. I would love to connect with you and talk, because I know how frustrating and how lonely it can feel, especially when nobody else in your life gives a crap and they're just like, just telling you that you should be okay. It's very hard. In fact, I've had many tears over the last couple of weeks crying to my friend, Lindsay, I love you. If you're listening to this, just because I felt so alone and I feel like a burden talking to people about it, but it's been hard. So I'm here to vent too if you need to. Until next episode, guys, I'm going to hop off so I can get into my client check-ins. But if you guys do have questions about the workshop or the masterclass, I should call it, or if you guys have questions about anything that I covered today, feeling like this hit you, please shoot me a message. And I'll talk to you guys all on the next episode. Bye.